Good day everyone, I'm Riley Ashton and I'll be introducing you to Immanuel Kant and his highly influential theory of ethics, the categorical imperative. Immanuel Kant was a German philosopher of the 18th century who believed that moral actions are not defined by their consequences, but rather by the intention of the principle behind them. Unlike utilitarianism, which focuses on outcomes like happiness or utility, Kant argued that the only truly good thing is a good will, a will that acts from duty. Kant proposed the categorical imperative as the central principle of morality. It's called categorical because it applies absolutely and universally, not depending on any particular desires or goals. It's a law of reason, and it tells us what we must do simply because we are rational beings. Throughout this presentation, we'll explain Kant's three main formulations of the categorical imperative and how they apply to real-life ethical dilemmas. Then we'll reflect on their strengths, limitations, and relevance today.
Hi, I'm Rolando Tamayo. I guide you to the three core formulation of the categorical imperative. The first formulation is called the formula of universal law. Act only on that maxim without which you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. This means we should only act according to rules that we would want everyone else to follow. It's a test of logical consistency. If universalizing the action leads to a coordination, the action is immoral. The second formulation is the formula of humanity as an end. Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of another, always as an end and never merely as a means. This demands that we respect others as autonomy, rational individuals, not use them as tools to achieve our goals. The third formulation is the formula of autonomy and the kingdom of ends. Act only so that your will could regard itself at the same time as making universal law. Here Kant emphasizes that each person is both a moral legislator and a subject to the law they rationally will. It envisions a society of moral equals where everyone acts out of self-governed duty. Together, these three formulations reinforce the idea of universal moral law, respect for persons, and share responsibility for justice.
So, scenario 1, stealing medicine to save life. I'm Shannon Iglesias and I'll now walk through the first ethical dilemma. The first scenario is you don't have to buy life-saving medicine for your mother. You consider stealing it from a pharmacy. So the formulation 1 is universal law. It's okay to steal medicine when a loved one is dying, but if everyone did this, property rights would collapse and the stores would cease to function properly. The concept of ownership would no longer make sense. Contradiction in conception and the actual immoral. So the formulation 2, humanity as an end. You are using the pharmacies and the system as a means to an end without their consent. You may have a noble reason, but you're violating their rights and autonomy. So it fails the dignity test, skill, immoral. So the formulation 3, kingdom of ends. Can this be can this rule be part of a society where people respect laws and each other autonomy? So probably not, because it's destabilize the moral law. And Kant's verdict is clear: even in tragic situations, stealing is not morally, just because the moral law must remain universal and consistent.
I'm Santiago Taguinot, and here's our second dilemma, scenario 2. You promise a friend you'd help them move, but a last-minute opportunity for a dream job interview comes up. You consider breaking your promise. Formulation 1, Universal Law. Maxim, it's okay to break promises if something better comes up. If everyone did that, trust and commitment would vanish. Promises would become meaningless. Contradiction in will, the action is immoral. Formulation 2. Humanity as an end. By breaking the promise, you're using your friend's trust for your convenience. You're not respecting them as someone who counted on you. Fails the respect and autonomy test, morally wrong. Formulation 3. Kingdom of ends. Would you accept a moral community where everyone breaks promise for personal gain? That would lead to chaos and broken trust. Incompatible with shared ethical order. Immoral. Even if the job is life-changing, Kant believes promise bind us not by convenience but by duty.
I'm Nick David Quico. Let's look at a third more complex scenario. Scenario 3. A friend confidence in you that they plan to harm themselves. Your promise to keep in secret. But now, you're thinking of telling a trusted adult. Formulation 1, Universal Law. Maxim, it's okay to break confidentiality to prevent serious harm. If everyone followed this rule, only in cases of danger, confidentiality would still be preserved in mass situations. No contradiction arises. Can be universalized, morally acceptable. Formulation 2. Humanity as an end. Here, by breaking the promise, you're actually protecting your friend's life and rational capacity. Acting in their best interest, you're not using them. You're helping them to maintain their dignity. Shows respect for their humanity. Morally rights. Formulation 3. Kingdom of ends. In moral a society, we would want rules that allow us protect each other from serious harm, even if it means bending minor rules. Support a rational, caring, moral community. Moral justified. In this case, Kantian ethics would likely support breaking the promise, not out of self-interest, but out of respect for human lives and dignity.
Final takeaways. Kant theory also comes with challenge. It can feel too rigid, especially in emotionally situation where breaking a rule might seem more compassionate. Critics argue that Kant overlooks human emotions, culture, and consequence, things that also matter in real life. But even so, Kant gives us something invaluable, a rational moral compass. His theory asks us not just to consider how we feel, but to think, what if everyone did this? Am I respecting others as people, not tools? Would this rule create a just society? Those are questions we should all ask, especially in today's complex world. As I can say, we must act in ways that could become universal law, for that is what it means to be truly free, moral, and human.
Kant's ethics challenge us to act from reason, not emotion, and to evaluate actions by whether they could be universal moral laws. In all three formulations, we saw how Kant consistently emphasizes moral duty, respect for others, and the autonomy of every rational being. In difficult situations, from stealing to save a life, to keeping promises, to protecting someone, Kant offers framework rooted in consistency, justice, and human dignity. He doesn't allow shortcuts. His theory reminds us that being moral sometimes means doing the harder thing, simply because it's the right thing to do, not because it benefits us.